A pleasure to meet you.
Are you here to discuss your orders, Ada? Or is there something else you want? We need an Ashlander informant. I have heard of a fellow in ald-ruhn named Zainsubani, an Ashlander who left the wastes to become a wealthy trader. They say the Ashlanders like to give and receive presents. Take these 100 drakes. Find out what Zainsubani likes, and get him a gift. Then give him the gift, and see if he will tell you about the Ashlanders and the Reveran cult. Then report back to me. Zainsubani is an Ashlander who left the wastes to become a wealthy trader in ald-ruhn. I'm not sure where to find him, but I'd try the ALD Scarin in ald-ruhn first. That's a more respectable place than the Rat in the Pot or the Council Club. We're spies.
Spare a few. Aren't you a sight? What do you want of me, Outlander?
To what do I?
I'm Moss Alanier Marion the Breton, Guild Guide.
Welcome. Please don't be shy.
I can spare a few.
Good day. I'm Baudry Farano. We've got local fare. It's Phil. He's a trader, and a wealthy one. He has his own room here. He was born an Ashlander, and knows their speech and custom, and has grown rich by trading with them for the things prized by Westerners. Is that what you wanted to know?
Welcome to ald-ruhn, Ada. New here? If so, I can tell you what services are available, and where. Zainsubani, the trader. He'll be downstairs reading. Or in the back room, below the bar. I am Zainsubani, Ada. May you bless and be blessed. I do not wish to be rude, but if you have business, speak it, for I am at leisure, and would prefer to be alone with my thoughts. I'm sure I've got better things to do. Your words, they make me feel, well, special. I see. You wish to learn of Ashlanders from me. And what is it that you wish to learn? A curious question. A gift is a sign of courtesy among strangers, and affection among friends. Among strangers, a thoughtful gift is a sign that you are cautious and considerate and aware of the other's wants and needs. Such is particularly useful for traders and travelers. Among friends, it is a private thing, and settled, with great risks, for the test of the gift is how well it is tailored to the receiver. I understand. You wish to give me a suitable gift, but you do not know me well enough to choose such a gift, or you cannot find or afford a gift you know to be suitable for me. Well, let us take your earnest thought and effort as a token of your gift. You have behaved courteously, and I am inclined to help you. What would you wish to know about the Ashlanders and the Reveran cult? There is too much to tell. Here. Take these notes. I've written here what you should know about the Ashlanders and the Reveran cult. But most of all, if you are visiting a camp, there are things you should know about courtesy and challenges among the Ashlanders. And, since you ask about the Reveran cult, perhaps you will be interested in my views on the Ashlanders and foreigners, because a guiding passion of the Reveran cult is their hatred of foreigners. They worship the great Ashkan and Hordator, Nrivarmunanstar, who in ages past destroyed the evil, godless dwarves and banished the treacherous Dagathor and his foul hosts beneath Red Mountain. The cult is of small consequence in Ashlander worship, and only among the Urshalaku do its followers have any influence. Others Ashlanders tribes share the sentiments of the cult, but regard the Nerevaran prophecies with suspicion and skepticism.
That's unusual.
Yes, my friend Ada. You say you want to ask me some questions. What would you wish to know about the Ashlanders and the Nerevaran cult? Or perhaps you wish to know more about my life as a trader. I am too old to travel, now, to risk the beasts and bitter blights of the wastes. Now I sit here warm and savor my imported Cyrodiilic brandy, while my adventurous son, Hanat Zainsubani, assists me in my trade, seeking out sources of fine ebony, and fetching them at fine prices. I wonder at my son, he has been so long away, without a word to his father. Surely he wishes me to die of worry, so he may inherit this fine brandy. He has proposed to chart the rarely visited ancient underground complex at Mamiya, west of Red Mountain. If you should chance to see him in your travels, chide him, and tell him an old man longs for news of his son and heir.
Greetings, Outlander.
Perhaps it means nothing.
Don't I know you
It
from
is peculiar,
somewhere?
the tall figure in the golden mask. It puts me in mind of the golden helm of the Ordinator, but that does not seem to fit the spirit of the dream. My people take careful account of dreams, but only a wise woman can tease from them their meanings.
You seem like very good company.
Are you here to discuss your orders, Ada? Or is there something else you want? Thanks for your report. But keep Zainsubani's notes on the Ashlanders. You will need them. I'm promoting you, and sending you to the Urshalaku camp to speak with Solmitual and Nivani Misa. But before you go, I think it may be time to tell you what's going on. The Emperor and his advisors think you have the appearance of meeting the conditions of the Nerevaran prophecies. That's why you were pulled out of prison on His Majesty's authority and sent to me. So you could satisfy the conditions of the Nerevaran prophecies and become the Nerevaran. Here. This is a decoded copy of the coded package you gave me when you arrived. Read it later. It should explain everything. As you'll see in the decoded message, the Emperor and his counselors say you have the appearance of satisfying the conditions of the prophecy. Do you really satisfy the prophecy? Are you really the prophesied Nerevaran? At first, I thought we were just supposed to create a persuasive impostor. Now I don't know what to think. But I am sure of one thing. This is not just primitive superstition, and we will treat it seriously, just as His Majesty commands. So, Zainsubani says Solmitual and Nivani Misa at Urshalaku camp are the heads of the Nerevaran cult. So I'm sending you to speak with them. Tell them your story, and have them test you against the Nerevaran prophecies. As heads of the Nerevaran cult, they can best judge whether you satisfy the prophecies. When you've spoken with them, report back to me. Here's 200 drakes for expenses. And pick up essential supplies at Fort Moon Moth.
Zainsubani's notes. The following are notes on the Ashlanders. Zainsubani's notes. The following are notes on the Ashlanders and the Nerevaran cult prepared for you by Hassar Zainsubani. The Ashlanders are the direct descendants of the Aldmiri peoples who followed the prophet Velith into the lands we now call Morrowind. The Ashlanders retain the modest nomadic life and simple ancestor worship of their forebears, and despise the soft lives and decadent worships of the settled Great House Dunmer cultures. The wastes are harsh and unforgiving, and we are a hard people. But there is a beauty and honor in our simple lives, and the snobs of the temple and great houses are fools to dismiss us as crude savages. Ashlanders and foreigners. Most Ashlanders wish all foreigners and their false gods could be driven from Morrowind. At very least, Ashlanders wish the foreign devils would leave them in peace. Ashlanders think it shameful to attack unarmed persons, but they will kill without hesitation an armed person who offends them or their clan laws. No Ashlander is fool enough to make war against the Empire. However, if such a war might be won, many Ashlanders might cheerfully give their lives to win such a war. Ashlander courtesy. Ashlanders may challenge a stranger who enters a yurt without invitation. Customs differ with different tribes, but leave when requested, and you may be forgiven. Be particularly careful about Ashkan's tribal chiefs and wise women, tribal seers and counselors. Some are welcoming, some are hostile. Be courteous, and leave if requested. If offended, they may attack. Ashlander challenges. When challenged for sport, it is acceptable to decline. When challenged for honor, it is shameful to decline. Honor challenges come from offense given in speech or action, or may represent customary formal challenges of status or ritual. Ashlander worship. All Ashlanders in a tribe, young and small, are born into the ancestor cult of their clan. The Narivaran cult is different, though. It is a very small cult, with only a few wise women with the gift of prophecy, and a few holy warrior heroes who guard and protect the seers. Sulmatuol, Ashkan of the Urshilaku, is the warrior protector of the cult, and Nibani Misa, also of the Urshilaku, is the oracle seer of the cult. Narivaran cult. They worship the great Ashkan and Horde Ater, Narivar Moon and Star, who in ages past destroyed the evil, godless dwarves and banished the treacherous Dagathor and his foul hosts beneath Red Mountain. The cult is of small consequence in Ashlander worship, and only among the Urshilaku do its followers have any influence. Others Ashlanders tribes share the sentiments of the cult, but regard the Narivaran prophecies with suspicion and skepticism. Narivaran prophecies. It is said that prophecies foretell the return of a reincarnated Narivar, who shall drive the foreigners from the Ashlands and who shall cast down the false gods of the temple, and restore the true worships of the ancestors. It is a dream that would appeal to every Ashlander, but many Ashlanders think it is a silly ancient legend, and little more. The Urshilaku Ashlanders. The Urshilaku are the Ashlanders of the northern Ashlands and the West Gash, in the northwest of Vardenfell. Ashkan Sulmatuol is their chief, a brave and respected war leader, and warrior protector of the Narivaran cult. Nibani Misa is their wise woman, a deep and shrewd counselor, and seer of the Narivaran cult. The Urshilaku camp moves with the herds, but usually lies close to the Sea of Ghosts, north of the village of Margan, on the northern coast of the northern Ashlands. Spymaster Caius Cosadas, Knight-Errant of the Imperial Order of Blades, Director of Imperial Intelligence in Vardenfell District, Eastern Provinces. I have the honor to acquaint you with His Majesty's wishes concerning Ada, an individual of no rank or consequence. Ada has been released from prison by His Majesty's authority and sent to you with this missive. Ada is to be entered as a novice in the Imperial Order of the Blades, and is to serve under your absolute authority as you shall see fit, except in so far as His Majesty's particular wishes are concerned. His Majesty's particular wishes are as follows. A local superstition holds that an orphan and outcast, a youth born on a certain day to uncertain parents, shall unite all the tribes of the Dunmer, drive out the invaders of Morrowind, and shall re-establish the ancient laws and customs of the Dark Elven nations. This orphan and outcast is called in legend the Narivaran. And is supposed to be a reincarnation of the long-dead Dunmer general and first counselor, Lord Indoril Narivar. Ada has the appearance of meeting the conditions of this local superstition. Therefore it is His Majesty's desire that Ada shall, in so far as is possible, satisfy the conditions of this ancient prophecy, and shall become the Narivaran. Though this prophecy is indeed only an ancient local superstition, His Majesty has taken counsel on this matter with his most expert informants and confidants, and His Majesty is persuaded that the prophecy is genuine and significant, either in its entirety, or in its several parts, and he earnestly demands you treat this matter with the utmost seriousness. Certain aspects of this ancient superstition are described at the end of this document, and further materials will be forthcoming by courier at the earliest occasion. It will, of course, be necessary that you acquaint yourself better with the details of this ancient superstition from your local sources. Since this matter intimately concerns Ada, it is expected that you will employ him to gather information on this subject. His Majesty has taken a great personal interest in the legends and prophecies of the Nrivaran, and eagerly awaits your reports. I have the honor to be, Sir, your most humble and obedient servant, Glabrio Bellienus, Personal Secretary to the Emperor. Zainsubani Informant.
Greetings to you.
The Spy Master has sent me to see a fellow named Hassar Zainsubani, an Ashlander who left the wastes to become a wealthy trader in ald-ruhn. He gave me 100 gold and told me to find out what Zainsubani likes, and get him a gift. Then I'm to give him the gift, and ask him to tell me about the Ashlanders and the Nrivaran cult. When I have the information, I'm to report back to the Spy Master. Hassar Zainsubani said he would take my earnest thought and effort as a token in place of a gift. Because I behaved courteously, he is willing to help me, and tell me what wish to know about the Ashlanders and the Nrivaran cult. Hassar Zainsubani gave me some notes where he has written what he thinks I need to know about the Ashlanders and the Nrivaran cult. These notes will satisfy the Spy Master. But Hassar Zainsubani invited me to ask any questions I wish, and perhaps I can learn some other useful information from speaking with him. Hassar Zainsubani says that he is too old now to travel, but that his son, Hanat Zainsubani, seeks out sources of fine ebony. The son has proposed to chart the rarely visited ancient underground complex at Mamiya, west of Red Mountain, and if I should meet him in my travels, Hassar Zainsubani asks me to tell his son that his father longs for news of his son and heir. Sleepers awake. I spoke with one who called himself a sleeper. He called me by name, and said, "You cannot deny your lord, Dagathur. The sixth house is risen, and Dagath is its glory." He made no sense at all. I think he must have been mad. I had a disturbing dream. I can only recall one part. A tall figure with a golden mask led me among the dead as through a wedding celebration. I heard many voices, but no lips moved. I strained to breathe, but my chest didn't move. The tall figure spoke with each figure as he passed among them, laughing and joking, as if they were alive, but they made no reply. I tried to cry out, but without breath, my tongue fluttered in vain. In my dream, a tall figure with a golden mask greeted me, saying, "There are many rooms in the house of the Master. Be easy, for from the hands of your enemies I have delivered you." It seemed I had died and could see myself laid upon a table lit by candles. But with my own hands I touched the figure, and the figure drew breath, opened eyes, and rose from the table. Then the room was gone, and the world filled with light, and I awoke. I dreamed that a tall figure with a golden mask spoke to me, but I understood not a word. He smiled, and seemed pleasant, but when he reached to touch me, it terrified me, and I tried to escape, but I couldn't move. I tried to cry out, but I couldn't make a sound. The figure kept smiling and talking, but I felt sure he was trying to cast some sort of spell on me. When I woke, I couldn't recall how the dream ended. In my dreams, a tall figure in a golden mask spoke to me. "Lord Nrivar Indoril, Hyres Dania. Long forgotten, forged anew. 3 belied you, 3 betrayed you. 1 you betrayed was 3 times true. Lord Vorin Dagath, Dagathur, steadfast liegeman, faithful friend, bids you come and climb Red Mountain. Beneath Red Mountain, once again, break your bonds, shed cursed skin, and purge the Enwa from Morrowind.